Boom! What's going on? It's your man Qualified and
Yo, it's Eddie C.
and this is Two Dope Dads and a podcast.
And a podcast. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all are in for a treat.
Yes, sir. Bow, 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 bang, bow. We have a guest. Bow, bow. What's going on, man? It's your man Qualified, aka the Dirty Daddy, aka Dr. Foot Lover, aka Mr. Black Future, aka the Black American Dream, aka Black ECW. And we have
Yo,
okay.
it's Eddie C. AKA Mike Tyson on an airplane.
Wow.
AKA the Maka Kilo Chicken Katsu Killer.
Yes.
AKA Coppola's
Okay.
King Koopa.
Oh.
King Cooper.
But I'm not going to say those initials because I learned the last time.
Yeah, don't do that.
AKA Mr. Wiggles.
Yes.
In the flesh.
In the flesh.
Yo,
Yeah.
we got someone else here today.
We do, man.
I'm kind of excited. I kind of want to just jump right into it.
I mean, that's probably what's gonna happen. Look, he's right there.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Jordan Salute. I'm a Leo.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like nice long walks on the beach.
Okay.
Oh.
Beaches in Nanakuli.
Yeah.
But today, you can call me IA, the Combine Classic.
Oh. See? He got his
AKAs.
right. No, he has a few, man.
Hey, you guys made it a hard act to follow after those two.
I mean, I'm surprised you didn't throw out the Jamie Kamaka.
Oh, Jamie. Okay,
oh.
Jamie Kamak.
Yeah.
William the Hunter.
Let's go. Oh,
Just
man.
hey, but we don't want to get sued, so you know,
Oh, okay.
off the record.
Yeah,
off
there
the
we go.
record.
There we go.
Off the
Never
record.
mind.
Unless you guys are gonna cut the check to the podcast. Cut the check.
Hey.
CBS, ABC.
Hey, all of that.
We also got Def.
Google man in the cut.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Mongolian Marcellus Wallace.
Ooh.
Do we look like a bitch?
Nope.
Exactly.
So why are you trying to fuck him? Like, oh, wait a minute. There's someone here who doesn't know what that's about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
So that went way over my head because Mongolian, I was like, wait, I thought he was Japanese.
So
I
before
was thinking samurai, now we got Genghis Khan. Right?
All that.
so before we started recording, we got a big old pulp fiction.
Yeah, I don't think
Posted
it's,
here
I don't
on the
think it's
wall.
in
I
the,
don't
in the
know.
shot right now.
Yeah, I don't know if
we
it
got
is.
we got it.
Okay. Def is about to do some
okay.
super
We gonna just
secret camera
Uncle
shit.
Sam.
Knock shit out.
Hold
Uncle
up.
Sam.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Boom. Hold up. Bow. There it
it
is. Yeah. So there's a big old Pulp Fiction poster here on the wall.
Yeah, there's a lot of things actually that's new.
All kinds of new things. Look
These
at
are
this. We
things
got a
we're gonna
whole-
talk about before we introduced IA, but I got excited and introduced them already, so
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah. So
But
Hey, do you guys think that Benny the Butcher stole Samuel L. Jackson's sideburns from?
that might be a thing.
do you think they're the originals from the movie? Since we were talking collectibles and classics.
that he just kept the sideburns.
Yeah.
From the movie.
Yeah, and
How
then
would he
sold it
get a
to
hold
Benny
of
the
them?
Butcher.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's a poster here. I bought this poster for Def
Yes.
when I was still in high school, and
Dang.
I went into Blockbusters in Kapolei.
AKA, that was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, back in the 80s, 20 years ago. But I went to Blockbusters in Kapolei.
Damn,
it was-
Blockbuster.
Yeah, it was, and then after that, it was a Fun Factory. I don't know what it is now. Right there by
Mattress
Safeway.
Mart or something like that.
Yeah, some kind of mattress
Yeah.
store. So that used to be a Blockbusters, and for y'all kids out there, that's where you would rent VHSs, and VHSs is what you would put in VCRs.
Yes.
But
So many acronyms.
yeah,
I feel at home, you know.
but
IA with the VCR and his VHS.
yeah, yeah. But I went up in there and I saw this Pulp Fiction poster, and I didn't have I was staying with someone at the time, so I didn't really have my own space to put it up.
Yeah.
And Def was trying to make a studio in his room.
That's right.
And turn your room into like an office. Remember, we were looking everywhere for like a boss office chair for your fucking desk. And I saw this poster and I was like, I need it, but I don't got no place to put it, so I'm gonna buy it for you so you can put it up in the studio.
And like, who'd have thought you actually bought it for yourself? Because years later,
There it
it's in
is.
the Two Dope Dad studio.
Is in the studio.
Hey.
And we started talking about this poster, and I find out here that you've never seen Pulp Fiction.
I've never seen. I've watched a lot of movies in my lifetime.
It's
I've never seen Pulp
Not
Fiction.
a
I've
Tarantino
only,
fan?
I like Kill Bill.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I haven't
But-
seen that one yet.
That's good.
I have seen the iconic dance scene with John Travolta and Uma Thurman.
Okay.
So I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know nothing else though.
Yeah, they're doing
I
it.
watched that movie when I was like 13 or 14 years old with my parents when it first came out.
Dang.
My parents used to let me just watch whatever the fuck. And so, like,
They just threw you into the real world.
yeah, pretty much.
If
But yeah, Pulp Fiction's
anything,
my shit.
I mean, it's a good movie. It's a really good fucking movie. But if anything, just to get the pop culture references, because that movie's referenced all over the place.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
see,
Yeah.
now I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I gotta watch it.
Like so many things are gonna click once you see it.
Yeah. You're like,
Oh, that's where they got it from. That's where that line came from.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's not like, so like, just being a pop culture reference thing is one thing. But like, I went to school doing film and shit. And this is one of the movies we studied.
Yeah.
Like the way they do the scenes,
Yeah,
the things
yeah.
that happen. And
Tarantino always has like an interesting view of the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
there's
know?
all kinds of conspiracies about like, or like discussion boards about what was in the suitcase.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I gotta watch it because like,
Yeah.
what's a suitcase?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was a suitcase that
And
they
you say
opened
suitcase,
up.
and automatically I think of Money in the Bank. You know?
They never showed what was in it.
Oh, okay. No, stop telling me. Don't no more spoilers. You guys are killing me like Kwali on Twitter with Snowfall.
I'm sorry. The season's
Spoilers.
over now, so we're good though.
Okay.
Right.
I saw the last episode. So.
Okay. Yeah. See, we're here. We're
I,
here.
I'm trying to tread lightly because I'm like, wait, was the last episode? Did I watch the last episode?
What happened?
Oh,
Yeah, let me not say anything just in case I didn't watch the last episode. I gotta go check my Hulu again.
we don't want
I'm
to
in
give it away
between.
to the viewers either.
I'm in between that and Atlanta.
Oh,
So
yeah.
going back and
Oh.
forth.
I gotta catch up on Atlanta. I
That
haven't.
and
Yeah.
I told Kwali as soon as he started giving me a 411 on what's happening in the newest season, I'm not gonna watch that shit until the next season come out because it sounds like we leaving off on a cliffhanger. and I
Oh,
don't-
you didn't hear about Childish Gambino? This is it. Donald Glover said this is
not
it.
Atlanta.
he was talking about Snowfall.
Snowfall.
But
Oh,
for real, no,
oh,
I
yeah.
did not hear about that
Yeah.
because I follow the fuck. I need to watch Atlanta.
Yeah.
You
Like,
gotta
I-
watch from the beginning to end, yo.
I watched everything that was released before this new episode.
Oh, okay.
Or new season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to
Yo, you gotta watch. You gotta.
I might have to go back.
What's not
That shit
Paper
was so
Boy,
good.
not Ern, not Al. The other
Hater?
homie, his friend, the other friend. What's what's the dude's name on the show? His
Which
name in
one?
real life is like Lakey.
Oh yeah. I
Yo,
can't
his
think of what
character
his
on
name
Atlanta
is, yeah.
is. Have you watched Atlanta?
no.
Oh my goodness.
I'm behind on everything.
Yeah.
Except for Tarantino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that I mean, I had like 20 years to watch that, so
Yeah.
I got around to it.
But put Atlanta on you guys' list. Watch
Yeah.
this.
No, I've heard this season is really good.
Yep.
So. Oh, and Snowfall. The next season is supposed to be the last season of that too. So,
Oh dang.
Yeah. So that's why I don't know if you watched.
Okay, so the thing about these series, like I don't know how you guys feel about it. It kills me to watch like these series finales because I feel like you get so emotionally connected
yeah.
that when you finish watching it, like you kind of sit there and you just have like that moment, like it's raining outside. You're just like, man, like what do I do with myself now?
Yeah, that empty
like-
feeling of like what's
you just
next.
broke up with like a girl like you was really into. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, yeah, and you're just like kind of stuck. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man.
Like, for a while, that's why I didn't finish Ozark or like that's why I didn't finish like Stranger Things. I feel like even like my kids, they like, oh, we don't want to finish it because like what are we gonna like?
Yeah.
what are we
That's
gonna
why
do?
that's why I do it the best way. I wait a couple years so that shit the whole series is dropped, and then I got like 2 weeks worth of binging to do.
Yeah, but then everybody's jokes just go way over here. Everybody's one line, everybody talking about it. Like you guys' Pulp Fiction stuff, I'm sitting in the living room just like, ha, yeah. Yeah.
Well, luckily for me, all of my friends are in this room, so as long as they're not talking about it.
Right?
There you
so
go.
he just comes up to us like 2 years later and is like, remember that thing? Remember that thing you used to like? I saw it.
I get it now.
Oh man. All right, so we've been just like talking about TV, but we got like a whole like superstar rapper.
Nah, man. Only because I know qualified. That's why.
No, man. So yeah, Kama Aina Classic, IA. Like, how'd you get started? Like doing music and everything.
Oh man. So getting started with music, just music in general. Like my mom was, I had a young parents, and my mom was, she had us when she was young, and she was just, pretty trendy into pop culture. She loved popular music. So like cleaning up the house, she'd always play like the typical Michael Jackson, Prince, Jody Watley, Steely Dan, all the Jets.
Yeah.
So we just love music. But then my uncle Costa, he was in a rap group in high school.
Okay.
And they got to audition for House Party 4 when they're in college.
Yeah.
His group, this group from Nanakuli. So they went to Nanakuli. They recorded their demo with Radical Rob Anakea, who produced for Sudden Rush.
Yeah.
And he did all the production for Davey D's Overdrive Live.
Okay.
He did a lot of like the OG Hawaii music videos, the Hawaiian stuff.
Yeah.
But he did their demo. He recorded with them. Or my uncle recorded it with them. And then I don't know how they got the connections, and they went to LA, and they had a chance to audition for House Party 4. They didn't get the part.
Yeah.
But we were living in San Diego at the time, and like he was like visited us and like just telling us about his experience, and like for me, like Kid and Play was big, you know what I mean? And like iconic, for us growing up. And like, man, my uncle got the,
He got to
and
was almost in the movie.
I had his tapes, I knew like all their songs. But when the music game transitioned from CDs or tapes to CDs, he gave me all his old hip hop tapes. Oh shit. So I had LL Cool J, Bigger and Deffer, Walking with a Panther, Fat Boys. I think I had Big Daddy Kane.
Nice.
He just a couple of like iconic tapes, but I would play them on my old Play School karaoke machine, and I remember the words, and it had a microphone attached to it, and just singing along, and that's kind of like where my like interest. I would say like the vibe with hip hop music. I vibed with it more, and then of course as you get older, you listen to it more, and then like I grew up in the '90s, the Death Row and Bad Boy era, and then when I got into middle school, I moved to Florida.
Okay.
And me and a relative of mine, we used to make like our own like mixtapes, fake mixtapes. So we like talk on it, like introduce songs, and like oh, next up we got Juvenile, or what I mean? That was the era, or DMX or something like that, Jay-Z. But then, the CD singles they started selling with the instrumental
on there, yeah.
So then went from just like introducing to like doing like spinning a couple bars, and then like when he wasn't around, I used to just keep going, freestyle and stuff. And then when I moved back to San Diego, I started getting into like recording, making beats, got into Fruity Loops.
Nice.
And then just started freestyling more with my friends, and then we started battling in school, and like we performed at school and had a little rap group. And I was like, yo, and I was producing. That's what I wanted to do, was be some kind of recording engineer or producer. And like when I was in high school, I tried everything. When you love the culture, like you try, I'm sure you guys can attest to it. You try every element, right? DJing, B-boy, you got you graph, a little bit of graph, tagging and stuff. And then for whatever reason, I don't know what it was, but I gravitated more toward being an MC.
Yeah.
I just always loved like the crowd control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the lyricism of it, but like I was more into like, you see me perform, we perform together. I love just being able to interact with and engage with a crowd. So that's what I ended up being an MC, and I wanted to do this. Like I was like, yo, I want to move back home to Hawaii, and my dad had already retired from boxing. My parents are divorced. I had to finish high school in San Diego.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go back home to Hawaii and make hip hop music.
Yeah.
You know. But low key, I was like, Mom, I'm gonna move back to Hawaii with, you know, my dad. I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna go to like I'm gonna go to be a recording engineer. You know what I mean? You gotta make it sound like
Make
official,
it sound good.
you know, recording engineer. You're an engineer. You know what I mean? So, but that never fell through, and I ended up just coming out here. Came back home in like 2004, and just really studied the game. You know, I kind of wanted to see what was out here. You know, Big T was still doing his thing. Tiki Entertainment. Yeah. Excuse me. Sick Records.
Yeah.
Direct Descendants. Light Sleepers. Catalyst. Creed was doing his thing. Tasho just released Honolulu.
Oh shit.
So like I was like, okay, watching, okay, how does a game move out here? You know what I mean? I kind of gravitated more toward like Tiki Entertainment. I'm from Nanakuli, you know, out in the country. Their music spoke more to me. Yeah. And I came from the West Coast, and that flow, the West Coast and Tiki Entertainment, like Chris Styles and all those guys, kind of resonated more with me, you know. But even I lived in Florida. I loved hip hop as a whole, so I respected where the town artists, you know, how they were their I guess their delivery and their cadence. But I wasn't so attached to it like I was with like the Tiki Entertainment, even though they're from Kaneohe. But Chris Styles was my neighbor.
Oh,
it was crazy because like over the street I lived on, it was me, and then 2 or 3 houses down was Papa T from BET. Oh shit! And across the street from him was Chris Styles.
There was something in the water out there.
So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it kicked off this crazy journey.
And that's crazy because like I think you and I literally had a conversation like 2-3 weeks ago about how like the kids out here now that are doing that are rapping and doing stuff, like how much easier it is for them as far as like it's acceptable to be an MC out here now. You know, and I was saying how like back when I was trying to rap and when you guys started, like the mindset was, well, if I live here and I'm from here and I want to make it big, I need to go to Cali. I need to do this, and you did the opposite before us. You know what I'm saying? You were like, I want to go back home and do music. So I'm sure that was.
Well, the thing is with me, like, so when I lived in San Diego. So before I lived in San Diego, I lived in Florida. I lived for 2 years. My parents got divorced. That's when my dad came back to Hawaii, and my mom, her dad and her sister lived in Florida in Tampa. So when we moved out there, it was like a major culture shock. But what I got exposed to was independent music, the independent music game. I will never forget. There's this artist there named Crazy, and he had made his own CDs. It was like a mini like Cash Money or like No Limit. I was exposed to them too, you know, and that whole independent hustle and what they were doing. But in the Florida market, like it was like a mini version of that. But I got to see firsthand of these guys with like their vehicles or their stickers all over it, going up to the schools, passing out their CDs, playing their music, just like a whole movement. And I was just like so fascinated. I was like, damn, this is crazy. It's like there's so much moving parts to this. It's not just the rapper. And that's when I started looking at liner notes and credits, seeing the producer. But not only there's a producer, there's like, okay, what's like all these other things, you know? And I started looking at where samples came from and everything, but just that whole machine of how it works. And then I go over to San Diego, and then like one of my best friends, he came from like Southeast San Diego, where like a lot of the hip hop was going on. Mitchie Slick, and like his uncle was Mitchie Slick's first record label, Presidential Records. But then I was watching how the independent like West Coast game was. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Like, and I just reading about it in the Source and the XXL, and like, you know, we'd have the pictures on our walls. You know what I mean? Just like Big said, and then just being so fascinated with like the moving, like the machine. You know what I mean? And tied to with all that, like, I wanted to come back home and do this music, and like, because, you know, like I saw what an independent hustle was about and like how it works. Okay, whether it be like Swish a House or like the No Limits, Cash Money, all these like, and then the West Coast when I got to see Mitchie Slick and Presidential Records. But then also I spent this my whole childhood being in the limelight with my dad. You know, I'm like meeting celebrities. I'm like at boxing training camps with Floyd Mayweather Jr. I'm you know, Oscar De La Hoya, and I'm just like, I was I guess conditioned or like lucky to have not only my dad was a solid influence, but like being a solid person. Like he wasn't like this crazy character. He wasn't disrespectful. He's a very clean name. So I was groomed in the limelight with him, but then also like I knew the hip hop culture. So like I was groomed and conditioned all these ways. So like I felt like, hey, I saw all these things. I want to go back home and I want to do this. And I feel like I got the tools, you know what I mean? And that's why when I came back, I didn't want to like just, you know, just jump in and be like, hey, this is me, you know what I mean? But I had to like you said, like one of the things you had to deal with here in the beginning was being an MC from Hawaii or like wanting to rap. The first thing is like, oh, bro, why you like be one of Popolo? Bro, only Popolo's rap, you know what I mean? Or like, you know, or why you trying to rap? You know what I mean? Like, it was like this weird. It was a hard barrier to break through. Like we went through a lot in the beginning, you know, all of us. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys, even though you guys are a little bit younger than me, it was just like it was really rough trying to push that. You know what I mean?
It wasn't cool.
Yeah, it wasn't. But honestly, I was very fortunate and like blessed that BET jumped on my very first single, because that's like, you know, shout out to BET, Papa T and JD.
Yes, sir.
You guys, like, I don't know if you guys knew this, but they're actually a rap group before they were a island group. Because they're almost like on that Fushnikins type thing. Because JD was a rapper and then Papa T was like that ragamuff.
Yep.
So, and then all of a sudden they make one song called Reggae Love on their album, and JD's singing, and Papa T's like, wait, I didn't know he could sing. So that's when they started converting over to their sound, and that's when they popped off.
I didn't know that.
BET was originally a rap group. I don't know if you guys knew this either. I just found out that Penny Dean was a rapper before he was a singer.
Wow.
That's crazy, bro. Yo,
what?
Yeah.
Just start singing.
Bro.
Hey, there you
Go
go.
in reverse.
But yeah, so I was fortunate for that. I mean, I was blessed with the opportunity to have them jump on the song. It kind of like eased me in because it wasn't so like hardcore. And you know, we had JD sing on the at least, you know, harmonizing, and like, so I got that advantage coming into the game. You know what I mean? It wasn't just so hard, like just straight hip hop. You know what I mean? So I got lucky, and I was able to do something with it after.
Yeah. So I think that's around the time where I ended up meeting you. That island sound.
Yep.
Was
Island sound. Was that you? That was Hyphy WOLA Boys days, right?
Yeah.
That was when you had the flat top.
Yeah.
Dancing in 7-Eleven.
All of that. Yeah.
This
Right next
motherfucker
to the
still
coffee
dancing
machine.
7-Eleven. I can't take it
I do
nowhere.
actually.
But yeah, nah. So back around that time, I remember seeing you on what was it? TRX on Demand. It would be on
TRX, just OC16, the Overdrive Live, this and that.
So I remember seeing the videos a lot, and I was like, yo, who is this cat? And then I had been going to Word of Life at that time, so I had actually bumped into BET. They had thrown a concert, like Rock the Truth concert or something like that.
And of course, and you know, Word of Life, a lot of people don't know that bred a lot of like local urban artists, hip hop artists.
No,
you know, Original
facts.
was like one of the OGs. You know what I mean? Big Break.
Facts.
Isn't that's where you got your start, right?
Big Break.
Big Break.
Sean J.
Yeah.
Wasn't one? Was he with you guys too?
For a little bit.
Yeah.
What's it called? Who else? Joey R.
Yep.
Yeah. So so it was a lot of cats. My man ASL. Big ups to ASL.
Yep.
So yeah, like there was a lot of cats who was coming through there.
It's crazy because Sean J had like songs with like J Mills and like big
like
stuff.
he went over to the mainland.
No, you're Hawaii hip hop history. You want to be a rapper in Hawaii? Yo, there's big things have happened. Or
he went over to the mainland and had some shit popping. So I was like, oh, when he came back, I was like, yo, I actually know this cat.
Yep.
So, and this is I was still in the shadows. Like I was coming up with Big Break, but I was I hadn't like recorded nothing on like an album yet.
Yep.
So I was still coming.
I remember Kwali like as a dancer, like with the Hyphy WOLA Boys. But then I also I didn't know he could rap. I didn't know like he was like, because we did music with a message.
Yes.
Like for those of you who don't know what music with a message is, I'm sorry if I already jumped in.
No, go ahead.
If you were going to talk about it. But music with a message was put on by, was it the American Cancer Association?
I think American Lung Association.
Yeah. So Debbie Odo, she was in charge of that. And
Shout out to Auntie Debbie.
Yeah, bruh. This was big for us local artists because we would tour all the high schools and then we perform. And she pretty much allowed us to perform whatever we want. Just at the end, deliver a message about not smoking cigarettes, or like, you know, what's your message about it? And that's why it was like, music with a message. But yo, we went to all the hype. It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was wild. Those were wild assemblies, yo.
That's dope.
So so during that time, like, so he was, so he already had like the song that was popping and everything. So like he was like a dude, and like at this time, like I was starting to come up rapping, and so normally I would be dancing with the crew when we would go and perform. But like when they had to start going to the schools, they were like, yo, during the dance mix, they was like, all right, we need you to like drop a 16. Like here, there. So I got a chance to like start rapping.
Yep. You was like Pac and Humpty Hump, huh?
Yeah. So I was like,
all around the world, the same song.
Exactly. So so we're showing up at the assemblies and stuff, and then here's IA pulling up, and I'm like, yo, I've been seeing this cat on TV. And then like we're at every school, so we start chopping it up and everything. And
what is Ryan's DJ name? Ryan
Garo?
Garo,
yeah. First Class.
DJ First Class from I don't know if he's with Power 104.3 anymore, but he was in that. Kaena Silva, Tony Silva's son from the Brothers. You know what I mean? Like, yo, these guys need their flowers, bro, because no, honestly, because the showmanship that they had, what was it? It was you guys and Men of War, right?
Yeah.
It was all with Word of Life.
Yeah.
But the showmanship you guys had, like I learned a lot from you guys during those times. For them to interact with the high school kids, and like they're just like cool as hell, and like just their performance like was on point. I don't know if it was from making the videos on YouTube or like just, you know, Kaena Silva's dad being Tony Silva, being able to, you know, have that kind of engagement. But they were on point, man. Like it was just like this well-oiled machine, you know. And it's just crazy to see like where everybody's at now. You know what I mean?
No, it was definitely like a training ground over there, man. Like, I used everything that I learned like about performing and like stage presence and interacting with the crowd, all of that. Like when
you guys don't we need to emphasize this more. You need to understand. Like, let me explain this to you. I'm talking about like, Pearl City High School, Waipahu High School, Kahuku High School, Aiea High School. I'm talking about kids standing up, going absolutely bananas. Or Hyphy WOLA Boys walk out. You know what I mean? Like going crazy. I mean, it just showed how powerful. Like YouTube is technically a social media, right?
Yeah.
How powerful of a tool YouTube was.
About what year is this?
This is like 07.
Yeah, this was like 06. Oh yeah, no, this was after I graduated. So like 07 is when I started going to the schools. 07, 08.
I think I did it for like 2 years. 07 to 08, and then 08 to 09 I did twice. But like, I'm serious. Like how absolutely bananas, like crazy the kids would go, and they would come out. And just the crowd, like I said, I learned a lot performing wise from these guys. I remember one of them being on one side and one of them being on the other side, and they would just be like, they have like a competition, and like it was so damn loud, like deafening, like screams, like yo, I got this side, all right, I got this side, and I would see Ryan and Kwali, you know, battle each other with the side, and then they battled the classes, and then like they had the music going, there was dancing going on. I was like, yo, this is crazy, yo. It's like, but yeah, man, like those are like crazy times for us because it built, you know, this performance and stage presence. But like, yo, if you were like, you had to be there. I don't even think like we had video cameras back then, you know. I have like some clips from like when I had like a little like digital camera, but like like, and it was crazy. Like Michael Banks was there. That's why I started bringing Osna around.
That's all I know. Oh, fuck.
Damn.
Michael Banks was the host.
Yo.
I started bringing Osna around. That's when he first started, and Jay Wiz, Jay Crooks, and then the ABC Breakers. I see. That's they put me on game. They made me step up my game because the first year I was like, yo, this is crazy. So the second year I was like, I teamed up with Limited Addiction because they're endorsing me at the time.
That shit.
But ABC Breakers, all like Desmond, them, you know, they're part of Rocksteady crew.
Yeah,
one of the craziest, you know, b-boy crews ever to come out of here. But the second year, I was like, yo, let me do something. Let me take a page out of their book because I brought them out. And so I brought out ABC Breakers, and then
Oh shit!
I'm dropping more names. I would bring out Crumpany.
Yo,
damn.
It was Kaneki the Great. Romeo Valentine was Jeremy D. Yo, so like, I was like, I gotta get the dancers too. So the breakers would come out, the crumpers would come out. Everybody, it was just crazy. Yo. It was crazy. But you guys set the tone, man.
Oh man, that was good time.
Imagine just being at school and just
Being the high schoolers at that time, right?
like at 2:00 we have this dope ass fucking
Music with a message.
thing going on.
And you know what's so crazy and funny that we do all this over the top performances and everybody hyping at the end. It's like, okay, now we gotta do this message. It's like, and hey, Auntie Deb, you said don't just say something about not smoking cigarettes. Boom, 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 boom. Kids, don't smoke cigarettes. Peace.
Yeah.
I know.
Mic drop.
I said, like, yo, when we was doing community service with Zulu,
Yeah.
we was talking. Well, it was elementary school.
Yeah.
So they're new to all this. By the end of this, their heads were spinning. They wanted to dance. They wanted to rap. We found that one girl that was beatboxing.
Yeah.
She was good.
Yo,
She been
she was
practicing.
good as
Like, she
hell.
knew what she was doing. And then we had that one kid that wanted to battle everybody.
Yeah.
Dude, it's wild. Like in the elementary schools now.
Dang, that's
Yeah, it
dope
was
though.
crazy.
That they have the confidence,
Yeah.
because
I did-
that's like them having confidence.
Exactly.
That you come up and they want to
Exactly.
battle
Yeah.
a grown man. You know,
Yeah.
like a 20-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had to watch out. He was trying to battle me, and I was trying not to like go too hard.
No,
and,
one
and if that was Night Marcher Def, then I knew he was like trying to hold back. Cause
Yeah, no, I was
you
trying
guys
to
were all
hold back.
monsters. You know what I mean?
One time I was with Puna at Palama Settlement, and like some kid just like straight up started battling me. Like, I was like,
was
"All right,
there.
man, I guess I got to battle now." He started dissing my shoes. I was like, hold up.
I was there for that one because you battled him a couple rounds, and then like I don't know if you're tapping out or like you're like trying to tell him, "Oh, good job."
Yeah,
And then
and
he
then
wanted to keep going. I battled. You fucking left with somebody. I battled him for like 2 hours.
I did leave.
And it got to the
I
point
was
where
like,
I was
fam,
getting
I-
irritated that
yeah.
he just kept wanting to rap. And so I started getting more serious. I said some shit about throwing it in the trunk of my car and driving over a bridge or something.
You always
and he
trying
was
to-
like,
Dang.
You always
I
trying to
was like,
fuck
oh
up some
shit,
kids,
my
man.
bad, dude. Yeah, y'all good. You good. Like I was just.
You started
it's
giving
cool.
him Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. Yeah, when that lady was trying to get him for his toothbrush.
No, but we see some crazy shit. Like some of these kids is wild.
Yeah, man.
It's
Man, I love
cool.
it that, because you know, like if you think about it, like the ages we're at now, we're not gonna discuss our ages or disclose that, but
You know, use your imaginations.
yeah, but like where we're at now, like we're the voice of this next generation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is crazy to think about, because like, you know, we think that all that stuff that we went through and did was like 5 years ago, but really we've been in this for like 10, 15 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys are the OGs, and the kids that are coming up now are coming up on what you guys have built.
And it's
you know?
crazy because like my son is about to be 17, and like some of his friends are like digging in like the archives. Like one of my son's friends like brought up on like an old song from our first album on YouTube. He's like, "Uncle, I never knew you made this song." I'm like, "Oh," but I thought I like, because there's that time, right, where like it wasn't cool to rap. So like my first album, it was like beyond after the Island Sound, man, it was like really tough for me because, bro, the comments on the YouTubes are crazy, and like just it wasn't accepted. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it wasn't until like the third album that people were like, "Oh, dang, he's kind of serious." You know what I mean? He's really doing this, and like, oh shit, he's going to the mainland to perform. People are buying. Oh, he sold out at Walmart. He sold out at Borders. Oh, damn! Like people like this. Oh, now they're buying his shirt. Like, you know, it takes a while for, I guess, for people to realize that you're serious.
Yeah.
That's an important part. But yeah, man, it was just like, it was rough during those times. So like now to see some of these kids that are like mid-teens that are digging in the archives and they're just like into it, like some of these kids listen to like the Angry Local stuff, the old Big T stuff, the old Sudden Rush stuff, and then like they start digging into like other stuff, and then somebody brings me up something like from Ill Hill. I'm like, yo, how the hell do you know about Ill Hill? You know what I mean? It was, what was it? Venomous. Is it Venomous?
Villainous.
Villainous.
Yeah.
That was brought up to me by somebody who, like a kid that I wouldn't even think like
That's crazy.
listen to like hip hop music. You know what I mean? Like super connect. You know what I mean?
Is that like the second Ill Hell album?
Nah, that was
The third?
That was the first. That was
Oh,
like
no,
the only
no,
official
no,
album.
I'm thinking about the mixtape.
Who did that
the
video?
beats.
Aaron Kai.
Oh,
Damn.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? And Aaron Kai
That's
is like
wild.
over here making like big murals
Yeah.
and like,
Shout out to
bruh,
Aaron Kai, man.
bruh, that's crazy.
Missions painting in
Yeah.
shops and shit.
Bro, that's crazy. See like the history here?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But the fact that they're digging into it, like, that's why it's so important to own your masters. Yo, stream the music.
See, and that's like just
I gotta give it though, give it to you, cause everything that you fucking touch started popping on like YouTube or whatever. Like everything you got involved in,
hey, man.
it was wild. Dude.
You gotta
It was
follow
wild
it,
to
man.
watch.
You got to follow him.
Nah, but well,
We used to go to the mall, and motherfuckers be like, "Hey, yo, qualified, what's up? Hey,
Nah.
how's it going?"
Okay, nah.
I'm like, yo,
But hey, Qualify he was outside. Qualify was everywhere,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, so some of the weirdest stuff like with was when Hyphy WOLA Boys was popping. Like there was one time I think we flew into Maui. I think it was Maui, and we were gonna do a show, and we were waiting for like there was like a couple girls that we knew in Maui that were like gonna pick us up and like take us wherever we were going and stuff. And we were like there at the airport, and then there's all of a sudden like there's like a group of girls like off on the side, and like they start like crying and stuff. So like so like I'm looking around, I think like something's wrong and stuff.
Yeah.
But like no, they were crying because they recognized that we were the Hyphy WOLA Boys. And I was just like, wait, what?
y'all coming in here like the
That,
Hawaiian
experiencing
church
fandom for the first time is kind of weird.
Yeah,
it's
nah,
kind of
that-
weird. You gotta, it's like
Yeah.
handling it. You
Yeah,
know what I
that
mean?
was weird as hell.
You got
Yeah.
you got one? You got one that's kind of
I know
off
he
the
got
wall?
stories, man.
Shoot, there's been a lot, but I do have an interesting one that kind of caught me off guard that happened recently in Costco.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right? I didn't put it up on my Instagram. I think I put it up on Facebook because it kind of relates to like aunties and uncles.
Yeah.
So I'm in Costco. This is actually before the mask mandate was lifted. So I have a mask on, mind you this. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I'm in Costco. I don't know if it's because of the way I was dressed or I was by myself. It's not like you could hear my voice. I wasn't talking to anybody. And I'm at Costco and the aisle where there's spaghetti sauce, because I remember looking at spaghetti sauce. And this lady comes up to me. She's like, "Hey, excuse me." And I was like, "Oh, how's it going?" And she's like, you're the rapper guy, right? Like the Hawaiian rap, you do I saw you like on like Instagram and Facebook. That's you, yeah? I was like, "Oh yeah, how's it going? Nice to meet you." And she was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor? I got my nephew." And so like right there, every once in a while, like I get it. Like I get the check out my son, daughter,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
singer,
yeah.
they like to rap or
Yeah.
or like my nephew, niece. And you know, we were all there at one point, you know what I mean? Like that hungry artist coming up. And I like to engage with, you know, people and like families like that because I've discovered some dope talent that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's good to see that raw talent and raw energy. So I'm like, okay, I'm already prepared for this. I know what she's gonna ask me. Bruh, she throws me the most majorest curveball in my life, bro. I was like, she's like, and so I hear her, she's saying her nephew, and I was like, okay, I know this is going. And she's like, yeah, I get this nephew. He raps too, but oh, you think you can like talk to him? I was like, oh yeah. What you know? What is what's up? And she's like, yeah, you know what? We just need somebody like like you or who's into this stuff. If you can tell him like stop, Stop doing it. You know, he needs to stop. I was like, oh, what do you mean? And she's like, you know, bro, every time me and his uncle, my husband, we listen to his music, it's just so hard for us to listen to it. You know, it kind of makes us cringe a little bit. Because, you know, he's not one gangster. He talks about guns. Talks about all, like, having these chicks and girls. And, you know, he never seen one girlfriend. And he talks about money, but he don't pay no rent. You know, he just doesn't do anything, no more job. Shit. And, you know, we've gone through it, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, auntie, you know, maybe, you know, he's just trying to find himself. You know, that's how we all start off. And she's like, she just stopped me. She's like, no. We need him to just get on, like, with the real world, real life. You know what I mean? Like, this is not for you, boy.
Dang, man.
And, like, I didn't even get a chance to, like, get his information or Instagram or anything like that. But she just caught me totally off guard. I mean, I've had a lot of instances where, like, people recognize me, but that was, like, the most recent one, and that was like the most interesting because I've never been approached like that before.
Imagine you're a young rapper. Imagine you're a young rapper, and someone from your local scene who's like an OG hits you up and it's like, "Hey, bro,"
emails me.
Hey, bro, you gotta stop your auntie.
No, hey, that's it. That right there. There's the disclaimer. If you want to be a hip hop artist, keep it real, because your aunties and your uncles will pull your card.
Yo, fast.
They'll do the clearance, the 8-mile clearance. Your name is Clarence, you have 2 parents.
Yeah, I mean,
bruh.
Oh, man.
Damn. So that's the most recent one I can remember. There's been some cool ones, but yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. So you were talking a little bit earlier about how it was kind of hard to find that acceptance, like for being a rapper out here. Now I know in my experience, like being a rapper out here, I did have some support coming out of like that Word of Life, Hyphy WOLA Boys, like farm system kind of.
Yeah.
Like, so there was like, I did have you know, other homies who were like, who either believed in what I was doing or thought I was talented, or you know, were musically talented themselves and we could collab and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I did have like kind of like a base like supporting me, but then like when I just like launched completely out there, like with Ill Hill and everything, like, you know, we would come across people who would just be like, wait, Hawaii rap? And like, what? Like, you know what I mean? And like I kind of like, sometimes I would almost get like some form of acceptance because like I was a black dude, but they thought they would just assume since I was a black dude, like, oh, okay, you're from the mainland and like you're here visiting doing a show. I'd be like, no, fam, I live in Ever Beach. And so then when that happened, I'd be like, what? So you're a rapper out here? Like, and you know, so like, did you have like a support base, or like where did you find that?
Well, definitely the support base always like started from home. Like,
right.
I was lucky that my mom and my dad supported it first.
Yeah.
And, you know, my dad, you know, being a boxer and like coming up the way he did, he understood that, you know, the journey, you know, it's not going to happen overnight. You know what I mean? But, so like for them, the biggest thing was to have support from them. That was big. And then also the family. And that's why I always like made sure my music, I kept it real, because I don't want to get my card pulled by Andy. Because, you know, back in high school, you know, we had those moments. We had those moments of, you know, just feeling it out. But, and I just kept my music a certain way. And, you know, there was support from the community. And that's really where the base was, you know, I got to give a shout out to the community of Nanakuli, because I've always gotten love back at home. Dope. Even though I didn't go to, like, school there. Like, I was born in Hawaii, moved away from my dad's boxing career when we were 5, and but I would be back here every summer. All my mom, dad, everybody graduated from Nanakuli except for me and my sister. You know what I mean? So the community was, you know, always gave support. Luckily, I gotta give, like, it's because of guys like BET who were in Nanakuli first. You know, doing the music thing. Chris Styles was going hard. So I had a good path that was already blazed before me, and I owe it to those guys. So there was a acceptance there, but then there was always like that weird thing, like, you know, like you said, like you're black, but
Yeah.
you're from Hawaii. You know what I mean? You live here.
Yeah.
There was always like that thing, like I said earlier in the interview, like,
like you mentioned.
how come you rapping? You like be black? You like be popolo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, a lot of people don't know what the hip hop culture is outside of like what they see on mainstream. They don't know. I mean, you guys are part of Zulu. You know, you see how the roots, you know, going back to New York, it wasn't just black. It was Latinos. It was, you know, even like the white folks getting down. Like, you know, it was a bigger thing, the culture in itself. So, I mean, just having to break that barrier outside of Nanakuli, and then also doing the kind of music that I was doing, like real, like I wanted to make music that sounded like what being from Hawaii felt like.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't feel that or find that slogan or like that mission statement up until like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Like something so simple. I was looking for the, you know, combined classic was always my thing, but then I couldn't define it. And that's where really what it is. Make music that sounds like what being from Hawaii feels like.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you're in Houston, you're hearing that chopped and screwed, or you're not even in Houston. You hear that chopped and screwed, and you feel like you're like just turn the corner of the blades. You know what I mean?
Right.
You hear
Sitting in the
some
sun.
beat or some
Biggie, and you
Biggies,
feel like, you know, you're in New York. You hear like Wayne
West
or like, you know, like
Coast
West
shit.
Coast. You
Yeah.
hear Snoop, Dre,
palm trees and shit.
yeah,
like
you
you
feel
out
it.
there.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to do, was do that here. And the funny thing was, like, it was accepted to my people who knew me, but then like outside of like that, it was getting teased on like the internet, and like people were giving me a hard time, and it wasn't too crazy, but like, you know, people still give me the pushback.
Yeah.
You know. And the crazy thing is that when I was shout out to Devious, rest in peace. You know,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be where I'm at without this guy. But I had gone through a bad label deal or like a situation, and he pretty much rescued me from it. And he gave me a place to record. I was out at Connie Marine Base, and I mean, they had some monsters roll through there, like from Atlanta, Chicago, and he just like put me through like the grind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A different kind of grind. Now I have all these different mentalities, all these guys, you know, and then I had to like prove my spot. And I was like, I feel like I was representing for Hawaii in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it gave me good exposure to outlooks, you know, different points of views. But then from there, I had never really performed. You know what I mean? This is actually before the Island Sound.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
pre
shit.
the Island Sound. I was rocking with Devious.
Yeah.
So we had a little group called Versatile, and I had never performed before, you know, since high school. And then Mo Love had this, rest in peace to Mo Love too.
R.I.P. Yeah.
Mo Love had this promotion over at, it used to be called Panama Hattie's, right above Dixie Grill in Aiea.
Oh shit.
And he had a promotion there, and like, you know, you could perform and stuff. And I was literally the only local guy up in there, all military, all military,
Yeah.
black, white, Hispanic. There's no Polynesians, no not even Filipinos. You know what I mean? Like, and I went in there and I performed. I had a couple songs and I performed, and like at first, like people were like, "Oh, who's this dude?" Because it was all like the military cast performing,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden the beat would change. But then like being from the different regions, they knew how like their independent artists from that region
Would sound.
would sound, but like the impact they have, like, oh, that's our guy, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's like, you know, like I said in Houston, like Paul Wall, Slim Thug, all those guys, like that's our guy. You know, West Coast Snoop and Dre, like that's our guy. So here I was, they don't know anything outside of what's going on at Panama Hattie's. They don't go into the country, they don't go into these local places. So they treated me like that. Oh, this is Hawaii's guy, like, and they're like rocking with me, and I'm like rocking these shows. Panama Hattie was like packed to the max.
Yep.
And
No shit.
like they didn't understand some of the stuff I was saying, but they were rocking with me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Dope.
I think my first song was like, "It's Hawaii, homeboy, and we ready to ride, and we ride
Yeah.
like this." And they were like, we went from like some crazy South stuff bouncing, and like my song comes on, and they're like rocking with me, and like that was
Yeah.
like the first time I got that kind of love. You know what I mean? And it was at Panama Hattie's, and it wasn't even for like my community. You know what I mean? It was for the military community. You know, the cool thing was that they're exposed for different regions are
other
exposed
regions.
to exposed to their hip hop stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was my first experience with it, and that's when I felt like I was able to break that feeling. You know, like it's hard, you know, hard for me, and I couldn't do it. And that's when the whole BET situation came around, and it, you know, everything started popping off.
There's something special about that spot.
Oh yeah,
because after that was Foreplay.
Yeah.
And were you rocking with us
Shango.
as Night Marchers by then?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were an honorary Night Marcher. That was still super early. We weren't even really going to town all the fucking time yet. We were just kind of like getting the feel of the stage. We was going freestyling. We had a couple of songs.
We would be over there like on fucking Tuesday or a Thursday.
Rolled up on Shango.
Yeah.
Down Raga.
Yep.
Yeah, man. And this is the first time meeting him. I went up to him. I was like, yo, we got some tracks. Like, put us on.
Yo, shout out to Shango because he put a lot of guys on, man.
He's dope.
Shango's a dude.
Our first time meeting him, we rode up on his show at Foreplay.
Yeah.
He never heard of us.
Yeah.
He never talked before.
Yeah.
And I was just like...
And Django was around a lot. Like, he was signed to TK Entertainment.
Yeah.
He was on the radio. He had, like, reggae songs, and he was doing his thing.
And he's still doing shit to this day. To this day.
Yeah.
But we rolled up on him, like, 7 of us come through, and I go up to him and was like, hey, man, like, you guys got any room? You guys have an open mic? What's up? And he's just like, nah, no open mic, but... we're pretty booked. If there's some time after everybody's done, maybe I'll let you know. So we wait, we hang out, we watch everybody perform, and it's getting close. I think they finished at like 1 or 2 or something like that. Yeah. And so it's like 1 o'clock or something. We're getting close to the end. He announces on the mic like, "Yo, it's the last group coming up," and they're performing. While they're performing, I go back up. It's like, "Hey, man, so what you think? We can get a song in?" And he's just like, all right, I'll give you a song.
See, it's that persistence, though. You know what I mean? You know, and Django knows the hustle. Like,
and we hadn't performed a whole bunch before.
Yeah,
maybe once or twice, and we had just wrote a couple of songs, I think.
At this point, who's in the group?
So it was me. Kwali was honorary. It was Puna, Rucka. I think Makana was there.
Oh man, y'all young cats gotta recognize that this is fucking one of Hawaii's Wu-Tangs right here.
Yep.
The Night Marcher was fucking Hawaii's Wu-Tang.
Didn't Dumbfounded call you guys that?
I don't. It was around that time.
Who called you guys Hawaii's like Wu-Tang?
We got that from a bunch of places.
Yeah.
Because you motherfuckers were.
Yeah. But those groups during that time, you guys, Night Marchers, Broke Mokes. Who are the other groups? There was like some crazy talent that was coming out. Like the next generation was like firing. I think K-Love had just stepped on the scene.
K-Love was
Jim Hurdle just had started.
There was,
but Jim Hurdle it was but before Jim Hurdle was a pro.
He was pro. He was pro.
And who?
Pro and product.
Pro and product. Yeah.
What was the K-Love Big Mox?
Prolific Unknowns. Yeah. Oh man, gotta also mention during that time because I know like when Ill Hill, Broke Mokes, and Pre. Pre was like real active. Yeah. We was always like booked on all the same shows all the time. The 3 of us.
One thing I was thinking about when you brought up like because I was gone during the prime of all of this stuff, and I wasn't getting like I would listen to his stuff when it would drop because he was the homie, but when you were saying like there was no one doing Hawaii hip hop and like or you wanted to do Hawaii hip hop and like make it sound like Hawaii. One of the first times I remember hearing that was Big Mox doing those grind time battles.
Oh, yep.
And I remember going on YouTube and watching that and hearing his punchlines, and all his punchlines were like local stuff, like if you weren't a local kid, you weren't gonna get it.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, that was the first time I ever heard like rap like that way, and I fucking loved it, man.
Yo, shout out to Mox.
Mox. Shout out to Jonah.
Big homie.
Hey, if you think about it, like honestly, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but for me, like I feel like that's our KRS-One.
Bro,
okay.
I've told them before.
I can agree with that.
I've told them before, like
Mox an idol out here.
Yeah,
for local hip hop scene.
I never met Mox in
really?
person. Like I heard his music, mixtapes, all that stuff. Like I know a whole bunch about him, but I've never met him in person. So like to me, he's like that legendary Hawaii hip hop guy that's like almost like a figure, like not real because I haven't met him. You know,
he seen me at my wackest all the way up and through Night Marchers and Workhouse. Like,
but the thing is that
was
Mox,
wild.
the thing with Mox is that he's always held high integrity for Hawaii hip hop.
Yeah.
He don't let that whack shit slide, but
Well,
he'll let you know, but he'll also like encourage you at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what
So
I
I
mean?
was like, rap more.
Yep.
That was
Yeah.
always the
Well,
shit.
what
Like,
was
just
that?
do it
Wait.
again.
He got that. He got that one line in one of his battles. He was like, "I was on America's #1 TV show, repping my island hard as shit,
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
repping my state hard as shit."
And then there was from that I think it was from the same mixtape he did, and he was like, "Today's toys, tomorrow's king." It was one of those things. It was just like I never got no negativity from Mox. It was
Yep.
always like,
Yep.
Hey,
we gonna
Mox.
do this
Shout out to
shit.
Mox,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
Check out
Come
the
on
show.
the show, man.
Yep.
Big
Yeah.
fan. When you see me, say hi. 'Cause I want to meet you, bro.
I'ma holla at him.
Back in those days, I don't know if you might be before you guys' time. I don't remember seeing you guys there. You guys might have been still a little young, maybe still in high school, but he used to hold this thing called a Sunday night cypher.
Oh, under the bridge.
Under the
Hell
bridge.
yeah.
Under the
Yeah.
bridge.
Yeah,
We've been
Ice
there.
Palace.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the things I heard about. That's like one of those
That
legendary
was crazy.
things.
And like, so like, I had already given up like the whole battle rap thing because I wanted to make songs and music.
yeah.
But like being under the bridge, like there were monsters under there.
Yeah.
You
It was
know,
wild.
Big Mox, Chris Styles, TKO,
TKO.
the OG,
TKO.
CJ Fresh, like
Yeah.
Parlous, Devon.
Oh, yeah.
Monsters.
Yeah.
And we'd have this thing called the gauntlet where you go in the middle and you have one shot, or everybody takes a turn at you and just
And
rips
you
you.
gotta- you gotta
And then
fight
you got one
everybody
chance to
off.
get everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was an experience, like, cause I wasn't like already like, yo, I don't even do.
That's-
But that was your proving ground, like,
Yeah.
to be accepted. Like they know, like where I was at. Mox knew where I was at. My intentions were at, and I wasn't like trying to be the best battle rapper. But if that's what I gotta do, if I gotta go to under the bridge to be
down.
accepted by my peers, my brother Chris Styles is to the left of me spitting, I'm gonna be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it, even though I might get my ass handed to me. TKO
Go in.
went in on me one time.
TKO's and shit.
Didn't Bolos battle TKO at
Yeah.
one of those battles?
Yeah. And I think we went to what the fuck? O Lounge. And we
Okay.
saw
Dang,
everybody
O
knows
Lounge.
EK.
EK, yeah,
He- when
yeah.
EK was killing
Yeah,
everybody, like
yeah.
on the come up,
Yeah.
telling people to deep throw the speedboat.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, one-liners, man.
Yo, it was
man.
wild.
Oh
yeah.
man.
But like you had to go through the
Yeah.
to be accepted. You had to
And
go through the Sunday
we
night
took that.
cipher.
So that's one of the things we got from Mox when we started Night Marchers. That was one of the deciding factors. So like Kwali was honorary because he wasn't like in every session and doing every song, but he went out to every fucking show.
Oh yeah.
And if we
I told you, Kwali was everywhere. He was everywhere.
yes.
yeah, and
He was everywhere.
if we held the fucking gauntlet, he was there like fucking shit up. And so like we had other crews and homies and people that was around and would come out with us, but that was the deciding factor. You got to run a gauntlet,
Yep.
and he was one of the few. So, but that was the shit. That was where we picked up. That
Imagine
shit. It
being
was
in a gauntlet
wild.
and you're looking around like, oh, bro, there's Big Mox,
Yeah.
TKO, Parlous,
Yeah.
Devon,
That
Chris
shit's
Styles.
scary.
Like, oh, bro.
Yo, speaking
Sharks.
Parlous did not get the love he deserved.
Parlous was a
Parlous-
monster.
He was.
You know, a lot of stuff we did was ahead of our time.
Yeah.
And if you can think about it, like if everything we did back in the day, those 15, 12, 10 years ago, if we did it now with what we know now and where technology is
Yeah,
at now,
I'll say with the technology we have now.
bruh,
Oh yeah. No, now that like
yo,
once I jumped into the scene and like those ciphers that we would have like at Tropics
yep,
at those events, like with a lot
yeah.
of these same names.
yep.
Pretty much everybody, like, and then throw in guys like K Love and stuff like that too.
Imagine the accessibility that's out now. Like, remember when we first started, like
Bruh.
trying to rap and record, we were just yelling into your mom's fucking Mac computer because
stock
we didn't have
microphone.
we didn't have microphones.
And look, you
we
can
couldn't
find-
go online and
you-
order a mic from
Yep.
fucking Amazon for like
Yep.
even $20.
What was Amazon back in
Yeah,
the day?
exactly.
You know what I mean?
books.
Yo,
You could
bruh.
have bought a book on rap.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so just the accessibility that like shit, they could record shit off of their iPhone and make it look professional now. Like we didn't have fucking cameras on phones when we were, starting off and shit. At least not to that quality. Nothing near that quality.
Like talking about that. Okay, like you know how we talked about being accepted and trying I was trying to find a sound of Hawaii. Like we try to incorporate like pigeon and stuff like that. Yo, listening to it now, it's kind of cringe. You know, for me, it's cringe.
Oh.
And you know, and that was the building part. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out the sound, but it's crazy. It's so crazy because like when we're doing that and people saying how whack it was, and like now, fast forward to 2022, we got guys like Ro.
Yeah.
And the Boto Bangas, right, doing these songs. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Where I don't know if they're influenced by us before or like they're listening to it before, but this is like stuff we were saying when people would give us mad shit about.
Bro, I don't
And then now Ro is like got crazy, like a crazy following, and these kids love the Boto Bangas. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's so crazy how things work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm grateful that
It's awesome to see
somehow, it's somehow the influence traveled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how times have changed, and like, you know, like you said, Eddie, like imagine if we had that technology back then, or like if the awareness was where it was. But in order to be where we're at, we had to go through everything we had to go through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, you guys started paving the way, and these kids are going through the road that you guys paved. And they're going to keep, they're going to keep going. And they're going to be here in 10, 15 years talking about those kids.
Generation. Yeah, that's crazy.
And like, oh man,
Wait, I can't.
You guys are the OGs.
Bruh, so I just remembered a story, a crazy 2 Chainz story.
Oh, yes.
That I was thinking about when you said about being like accepted. Like, how do your sound be accepted? And it's 2 Chainz, Chris Brown, okay?
Wow.
I know I saved something. I know one of these stories would definitely fit somewhere. But okay, so 2008, I believe, I get a call from Jay Wiz. Shout out to Jay Wiz. He hits me up and he's like, "Yo, you want to open up for Chris Brown tomorrow?" I'm like, "Oh, open up for Chris Brown? Like 2 sold out shows?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" So he had 2 shows. It was supposed to be him and Bow Wow, but Bow Wow didn't make it. So the first night they just had a DJ. The second night, Jay Wiz's manager, shout out to Megan, Red Eye Clothing out there in Kwali. She had the connects. I don't know how they did it, but he calls me up. He says, "Yo, we're opening up for Chris Brown tomorrow. You down?" I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah.
Sold out arena. Chris Brown was like crazy hot. This is like pre-Rihanna craziness.
Right.
And so we opened up for Chris Brown. The show was crazy. It was me, Jay Wiz. Kaipo Kapua was on there with us.
Hey, shout
Jay
out
Crooks,
Kaipo.
Osna. We performed while we were performing. Chris Brown and his homies even came out and danced on stage. I got the video of it.
Nice.
Got the video of it. When he called me out for the last song, I just remember running out to a full packed house and yelling out, "If y'all ready to party, let me hear you say chee-hoo," and like hear a sold out arena say it back and perform. It was just like, bro, I'm getting chicken skin because like it's talk about living in the moment. Like, I'm so glad we had our bougie digital camera to film it. It's on YouTube, you can watch it. But after that, shout out to the homie Darnell Jones. The night prior, he had hit me up to do the after party, Chris Brown after party, at Pipeline Cafe.
Oh shit!
Wow.
But it didn't end up happening. The party got canceled. So he's like, "Yo, my boy Dantana from Las Vegas, he's a promoter. He's gonna be doing the show, the after party tomorrow night, and he's gonna have this group called the Players Circle." I was like, "Oh, Players Circle, the Duffel Bag Boys." You know what I mean? That's when the song was popping off. It's like, "Oh, they're here in Hawaii. They're gonna perform at the after party, and it's gonna be Players Circle, Chris Brown, and you can be the first act." I was like, "Oh, dope."
Yeah.
So going into the show, the Chris Brown concert, I knew that I was like, "Yo, fellas, after this, we're gonna go to Pipeline Cafe. We're gonna perform." And like, "Oh, yeah, for sure." So we do the show. Just the whole vibe in there is super crazy. Like, there's a million girls in there trying to get to Chris Brown. Like, anything the DJ plays, everybody just turned up. You know what I mean? We perform, come off stage. We go up to the green room in Pipeline Cafe, and it looks over the whole club.
Yeah.
We're back there. Chris Brown is over there. And who else was in there? There was another celebrity that was there. I can't remember who it was. But it was crazy because like we already met Chris Brown at the show, and like to go up the room, like give us dap, and like his boys give us dap. Like living in this moment. Imagine this. Like we're just starting off. This is 2008,
right?
And we're opening for Chris Brown at the arena, and then we're doing his after party, and he's giving like showing love. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And then I'm up. Like this is one of those things. Like one of those missed opportunities. And you know, you try to live in the moment and you're just not thinking. I was just very early in my career.
Yeah.
Okay. And I see this tall dude, like super clean, all like this jewelry on. And I was like, oh, that's Titty Boy. I knew who he was because he was rocking with Ludacris. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I knew who he was. I knew Player Circle. I just wasn't like really into his music, but I knew who he was. So it was, I believe it was him. I don't know if it was his wife, but I walked over and I had one of my mixtapes, my first Ohana mixtape. And I was like, oh, what's up, Titty Boy? Good to meet you. And, you know, it's hey, what's up, man? Nice to meet you. Super humble, super nice.
Dope.
You know, like he wasn't like blocking anybody out. He was just standing in the room. Nobody like, I don't know if anybody knew who he was or, you know, because he wasn't 2 Chainz yet.
Yeah.
And, you know, I knew who he was. And I was like, yo, what's up? Nice to meet you. And can I give you my CD? And he looks at me. He's like, oh, dope. Oh, are you a DJ? I was like, no, I'm a rapper. And he looks at me like, you a rapper?
Yeah.
Hawaii gets down like that? Like, you a rapper? And he's looking at this. He opens my CD. He's looking at it. And it's one of those, remember like the slim cases?
Yeah.
But I had like a professional cover. I had it was a burnt CD, but it looked nice. It was packaged nice.
Right.
My Ohana mixtape volume 1.
Hey, shout out.
So he's looking at it and he's looking at looking at the credits. He's like, oh man, who does your beats? And I point to Austin, oh, that's my producer over there. He's like, oh, that's fresh. Oh, you guys got a studio nearby? Like asking me all these questions. He's like, oh, are these industry beats?
He's just
And
tripping.
He's tripping because like I got it. Sean J, shout out to Sean J again.
Yeah.
He helped me get my stuff professionally done or look like a professional mixtape. Cut Master Spaz was the DJ on it. And he's looking at it, asking me these questions, and like I'm just like giving this dude Titty Boy yes or no answers. Like, oh, that's Osa, that's my producer. He's like, oh, that's dope, man. I didn't know Hawaii gets down like that. Got Hawaii rappers. It's like, yeah, man, I'm always recording and doing stuff. You guys got a studio nearby. And saying all these things to me. And I'm like, oh yeah, he got a studio. And he's like, I don't know if he's waiting for me to say something. I was like, yeah, man, we're always just trying to get busy, you know, and we're just doing things like, oh, and he talks to his girl. I remember him saying, I can still like visualize and hear him and see him saying, yo, we gotta listen to this in the car. Hawaii got rappers, man. He's like looking at it, like just blown away.
Man.
Blown away.
Could add you a Titty Boy verse.
Yo, and he gives the CD. He's like, yo, put this in your bag. We're gonna bump this in the car.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he's asking me like, what's there to do out here and doing stuff. And I'm just being cool. Like I'm not trying to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just living in the moment. You know, I'm talking to Titty Boy.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like I wasn't starstruck or anything. But now looking back at it, like we talked about, like, you know, like how are you accepted? Like, you know, your situation, like, oh, you're a rapper from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like 2 Chainz is telling me this, blown away back in 2007, 2008. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not only was I got to see like a reaction of somebody of his status to a Hawaii rapper, and I didn't realize it at the time, mixed in with a major blown opportunity, bro. Like he gave me all the opportunities. He threw like 5 alley-oops.
Right.
He even asked me who my producer was.
He just watched.
He asked me if there's a studio nearby. Yo. So hey, 2 Chainz, if you still want to do a track, man. Yo.
Friend of the show. He's a friend of the show.
Yes.
When he watches this episode next week, he'll hit you up.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
I'll come out retirement for a verse on that one. You feel me? Like
That's my 2 Chainz story, man. 2 Chainz and Chris Brown story, bro.
yeah, man.
That's just crazy.
Yeah, dude. Fuck.
I think a funny story that I had that's actually connected with you. You brought me out at Republic. I think it was the Ray Shrimmer show.
Ray Sherman, yeah.
So that one was funny because my dreads was a little bit shorter back then at the time. So like it was, I think it was a little bit before you set, right before you was gonna go on. So I was standing on the side. And I think you was getting ready to go on to the stage, and I was waiting for our song to come on. And like I was standing on the side, but like out, I guess far enough for people in the crowd to see me, and all they saw was like my hair. And I don't know who they thought I was, Slim Jimmy or they started bugging out, and I was like, oh no, I'm not there. I'm gonna come up later
with his Farmers Market Hawaii shirt on.
And
then, Slim Jimmy, Sway Lee got a Farmers Market Hawaii shirt.
He's like, oh, repping Hawaii. No, sorry, this is just qualified. I apologize.
Sorry to disappoint.
Right. Nah, I got it. But by the time I ended up getting up there with you, I jumped into the crowd during my verse and almost lost my shirt. They just started trying to take it from me.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't.
There's a little bit of a backstory to this. Let's go from the beginning of the set. First of all, imagine this: Republic pre-COVID times.
Yes.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Sold out Ray Sherman show. Ray Sherman had just dropped No Type.
Yeah.
What is the other ones? They had this is before Black
it was like No Type, No Flex Zone.
No Flex Zone.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm talking about rowdy. This place is rowdy, crazy.
Yeah.
It's 18 and up. It's like we're the opening act, and Osna's spinning, like they're getting hype. I come out, I open the show, or I'm doing my opening of my set, and like I'm performing, and I don't have a hype man. So like I'm performing, and like this like godlike voice, like Wizard of Oz, like I'm hearing something. I thought it was Osna. I was like, yo, that don't sound like Osna. Thank God, yo, shout out to Qualified. Because, yo, being like, thinking quick, I don't know if you were like really anticipating it, but he had the support mic on the side.
Yeah.
And he was just rocking with me the whole time. Nice. And like, he was like this like fictitious, like Wizard of Oz voice mixed with Lil Jon in the back. Yo. Yeah. And then I had no idea that they thought you were one of the Ray Sherman guys. Yeah. No wonder when you came out, they were like crazy. Because like, yo, all right. So one of my favorite song from Qualified is his song Go. Hey. It's like one of those songs where you hear from like one of your homies or like from another artist, like, damn, I wish I had that song. Yeah. I wish that was my
has
song.
a good music video.
Yo.
And that's a dope
that shit almost got me in trouble, but that's a story for another episode.
I remember that story.
Yo. But I was always like, I love that song. So I was like, yo, Kwali, we're going to do our song, Watch Me Go. But can you also do your song? I'm going to bring you out to that. Because the song was, Go was like for the females. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good dance song. And I was doing like a little female set going into that. So like, I kind of had to give the crowd a little context and then introduce Qualified. But now I know why. When this fool stepped out, when I introduced him, there were like people in the front were like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They don't qualify. That's Qualified. Yeah. But when he did Go, man, we did and go. Like we could have damn near like, Qualified pretty much did stage dive that night. Like we did our song "Watch Me Go," and like, I just see him leave the stage, and he's doing his part in the front. I posted on my IG today.
Yeah,
they pretty much ripped his shirt off when he jumped into the crowd. Shit. Yeah, that was a good show, man.
Yeah, the IG post is what reminded me about.
That was one of my favorite performances.
Lots of fun.
I miss those shows at Republic.
Yeah,
I got one story I feel left out. I want to do one story about being recognized, and I think we got to wrap this up.
Yeah,
let's see. Wait for the story. So we're in Kapolei, and I don't remember what we were doing, but I think maybe you went to go get some food.
Yeah.
So I had time to burn. I went to Fly High. So I'm in Fly High. I got my dope dad hat on, and I'm just looking around.
Jeff?
And I'm just talking to the chick in there, looking around, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just killing time, waiting for my homeboy. It's all right. He walks in, and the girl was like, Qualified, and she was like, oh, and I was like, oh, that's my friend. She was like, oh, that's your friend, and I was like, yeah, it's Qualified, and she was like, oh, and then she was like, oh, dope dad, I like your beanie. Meanwhile, I was in there for like 15 minutes with my dope dad hat on.
Yeah,
and she's like, oh, I like your beanie, and he was like, oh yeah, that's a podcast we're doing. She was like, oh, you're doing a podcast, and then he was like, yeah, with him. And then she looks at me, and she was like, oh, you do a podcast? And I was like, yeah. And that's the closest I've ever gotten to being known. So.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm the guy who does the podcast with Qualified.
Yeah,
there you go.
I haven't been recognized for that yet.
One day.
Probably because I'm not in the logo.
Maybe one day they're going to be like, oh, you're the guy who does the podcast with Eddie C. And that one guy with the dreads.
Yeah. Right? That's the show IA was on, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, you're a part of that too?
Yeah. Boom. Ah, man.
I'm telling you, Qualified is like low key like Diddy out here, man. Like,
I'm telling you,
all that time spent outside.
Oh, you know what? I mean? One other thing that's crazy, and I've told you about this a bunch of times. My oldest son, like I've been bumping his shit in my car since he was a baby, right? Yeah. So when we were gone the whole time he was blowing up, but I would always be playing his music.
Yep.
So my son knew that I had a friend who did music, and like one day we went over to your house when your son was really small, and he just knew that we were going to Uncle Kwali's house. So we're there, we're hanging out or whatever, and then we leave. And I was like, yeah, Justice, that was, my friend Uncle Kwali who raps. He was like, oh, that was him?
That was the guy.
That was him? That was.
Because the kids, they don't know anything about the music. So they see a CD, like, wow, it's a professionally done CD.
He knew some of the songs. Like
and they hear them on your stereo. Like, wow.
Yeah.
But then you play that and you play like some of like the mainstream stuff. So like the kids are thinking like, yo.
It's just all the
so
same.
So we were chilling at his house the whole time. I think you or someone gave him a Capri Sun.
Yeah.
So he was just over there drinking his Capri Sun. And then when we were leaving, he was like, wait, that was him that we listened to? That's your friend? That's your friend?
I gotta ask you. So what? After knowing that, what was his second time seeing him? Like now he's knowing that that's the rapper. What was his like reaction seeing him?
You know what? I don't know if he has such a big reaction to it anymore. The person who has the constant reaction is my 9-year-old Christian.
Okay.
Like he gets excited about everything. Like just a week or two ago, he came here for the first time.
Okay.
And he was like, oh, we're going to Uncle Jason's house. He was like, I saw it on the podcast.
Yep.
Like we're gonna go inside his house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go inside his house. He was like,
it's crazy that
oh.
the kids, it's like, mind blowing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember having that like just having that reaction, like just being on OC16, like it just it's OC16, but then like when you see people out and they're like, oh, I saw you on OC16, like you're that guy, you know what I mean? It's like it's kind of a weird getting the fandom or like the recognition at first, you know what I mean?
I think my kids are my biggest fans.
Yeah.
Because I was telling him right before we left, my son Christian was getting on YouTube, and my account is on there. So the Two Dope Dad episode that dropped today was on there, and he was like, oh, Dad, your podcast is right there on the YouTube. I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, it has 37 views.
Yeah.
I was like, thanks, Christian.
Pretty soon he gonna be telling us it's got 10,000 views.
Hey,
Yep, there you go.
shout out to Mr. Wiggles Jr.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, man. Well, I mean, we gonna
Wait. Before y'all wrap up, I gotta ask.
Yeah.
What's up with that shirt?
let's get into
That's a
that.
Wu-Tang shirt, right?
Okay, so
Is that
This is
a
the
reprint?
Wu-Tang-
Is that a reprint?
this is a Wu-Tang Forever 1997 tour shirt.
Look at that.
Tell them about
Now-
What?
Wait, where were they?
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna turn this to the back, so hopefully you can zoom in.
Oh shit.
But if you look at the tour shirt
Oh shit.
on the back, you'll see that
Oh.
the tour stops in Honolulu and Ka'ava.
Oh,
Look at that.
And if you know
Wu-Tang.
your Hawaii hip hop history, that is where the
1997.
OG group Humanakas, which Tasho Pierce,
Yes,
aka
sir.
Merce, was a part of, they opened for the Wu-Tang Clan.
yeah.
And this is not a reprint. It's an original shirt.
Look at this.
Never worn.
Talk your
I
shit.
bought it on eBay.
Talk your shit.
Because of those 2 dates. I bought it on
Damn.
eBay. And I probably paid way too much for it.
Worth
But
it.
just
Worth
know
it.
that. Just know that.
Whatever you paid, I'd pay double. Let's go.
You got some records I'll trade you for.
Oh man, these guys.
Right?
We couldn't get them into the podcast room. They were over there just talking about collectibles.
I did have one thing before we start to wrap things up. Now, just a couple minutes ago, you said I'm like the Diddy out here, but like if I could like assign like any like legendary hip hop persona to you, I would think like, man, you got to be like Hawaii Master P, just with how you like done shit as far as like marketing, like you've pushed yourself, like you're one of them dudes, like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no way that anybody could deny like IA's legacy in Hawaii hip hop. I think you've carved a niche out for yourself. And one thing that I've always like admired from like just as a peer is just like how like you are always so consistent with like your marketing. Like there's never a question like who is IA. Like the Kamana Classic, like we knew exactly what the fuck that was. Like anytime you came anywhere, like whatever it was, if it went from when like, you know, wearing the neck, the
Kukui
wooden,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
Medallion?
just
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like you, just everything. Like you was always holding it down. I was listening to you know, just preparing the like come and talk, like I was like, let me throw on some IA music, man. I was listening to Zubland, and like that joint, like how you were talking about, like you want your music to feel like being from Hawaii. Like I don't even be going to the beach that often, but that song made me feel like I was going to the beach.
As a guy who likes to go to Zubland, that song is dope as fuck.
Yeah,
Oh, man,
that song is Zubland.
Yeah, so like, you know, so just with people being able to go back and look on your track record and what you've done, just on the music side, we ain't even talking about the acting yet, but like just on the music side, like what would be like your main piece of advice to give to like an artist who's young and coming up and trying to figure out the game, like how you were when you were like watching the independent game work?
Man, I mean, first, like that means a lot. Just everything you just said, man. I mean, I appreciate that because, you know, you guys all know in this room what it takes to get to where we're at now. You know what I mean? Like 15 years, I'm on my 15th year since my first album. A long, crazy journey, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of lost time, a lot of good times, a lot of hardships, you know, from almost going broke to having 3 jobs at one time, from taking out a betting on myself instead of signing with a label, betting on myself and taking out a personal loan for $10,000 to start my music career and to where it is now, and like everything I've done and been around the world with the music and what hip hop has done for me. I mean, that just means a lot to me coming from you guys, you know what I mean? Especially Kwali, you know, we've been in this game for a while and we've been, you know, side by side for a long time, you know, doing things. But through everything I've been through, for somebody first starting out to come into the music game and wants to do this, you gotta be in love with the music. You gotta love the music. You gotta love the art, because if there's no love for that, it's not gonna last long. You know what I mean? You gotta love what you're doing. You gotta love it. There's gotta be love there, because you're gonna go. This is a major, like a relationship. You're gonna go through major ups and downs. You're gonna go through a lot. You're going to spend a lot of time doing this, blood, sweat, and tears. And before anything else, you got to make sure this is what you want to do. You love this, because overnight success takes 10 years. And just to get, I'm in my 15th year after my first album, and I feel like, you know, I'm just catching my stride now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you got to love the art, love the music, regardless if you're a rapper, singer, any genre. Just got to love the art. Yeah.
Damn. I'm inspired.
That's major facts, man.
Time to bring rescue back.
Man. Yeah, that's important, man. But I think there was a time in hip hop, and even here, you know, while I was still here, where I feel like rapping became for a little bit just the popular thing to do. Yeah. Or like the quick fame, especially during the YouTube or you know, in the social media era where it's like it's my quick way to fame, or it's a quick buck or something like that. And you know, luckily those guys just don't last anyway. But I feel like, I mean, maybe I'm just not in touch.
Also says, man, you just gotta let time pass and like let their time ride out. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and I feel like, at least from what I've seen, the kids who are doing it today are like into it. And it's not just like let me just do this because it's cool for right now. Yeah. You know? So
they're really about it. And shout out to all the kids coming. There's a lot of dope new artists coming out too. The next generation, I'm quite proud to see where it's going now and how technology is being utilized. You know what I mean? It's in good hands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nah, we shouted out a few of them, Ro and all the Boto bangers. You know,
shout out Drunk.
Shout out to Ocean Evil. There's a lot of these
camp too.
Yeah, there's just a lot of these young cats who are coming up that are just.
And we want to be that platform, you know.
Yes,
you know, we're trying to.
We're trying to two dope dads.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this is just part of the way that we're going to continue trying to pave the way. You know, there was no one inviting us to do interviews. When we were coming up. You know.
Yeah.
So.
No media outlets supporting like that.
Yeah.
You know, you really had to like go above and beyond or pay a rack, you know what I mean, to even get somewhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, if we can try to pay it forward and help out the hip hop community by giving them that platform, then
thank you guys for this, man. Taking your time out. We all have families, so for you guys to do this and give us the platform and be able to share stories and talk about it.
Hey, we're just dope dads doing dope dad shit.
There you go.
Hey, yeah, you too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Shout out to the dads out there.
Right, it's 3 dope dads here right now.
Hey.
Man. So, yo, once again, man, thank you, IA, for coming out.
Nah, man.
brother.
Thank you guys for having me. Letting me
man.
share some stories with you guys.
Yeah, man. This
I
was
saved some. I was like, yo, I gotta save some for 2 dope dads.
Nah, and you brought some fire. It was great, man. I appreciate it.
Old titty boy story.
It's not every day you're gonna get one of them.
Yo.
Yeah, man. Any shout outs? Where can we find you on social media?
All your social media platforms at IA808. Check out my website at 808 ia808.net. Got my brand new music video out with Sons of Wakea.
Yes.
Shine Forever. That's out right now. Shout out to
Song
Dice
is fire.
Kasagawa, who directed it, who's also big time in the movies out here, and everybody who was a part of it. Yeah, man, I got some surprises coming up soon. Look for a couple singles. And drum roll. I'm actually gonna be releasing a project very soon.
Yes, sir.
I haven't been really
it's
talking about it. Yeah, so we can drop that here. So be on the lookout.
Exclusive.
Yeah. And when it drops, we'll put it up on the Instagram too.
There we go.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
That's all I can say. I don't want to give too much. You know, my marketing thing. I gotta have some kind of element of surprise.
Exactly.
But
man.
just know something is coming.
We're just happy we got the announcement, man.
Yes, sir.
Dope. Thank you, man. It was nice meeting you, brother.
Nah, man. Good meeting all you guys, or good meeting you, and good catching up with the boys. Man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
man.
Well, here's our outro.
Bang. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for getting all the way to the end of the podcast. Hey, you can follow me on Instagram at Kwali is ill. That's KWALIISILL.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. You can follow me on Instagram. My name is Eddie.C. That's Eddie.C. EEE. That's Eddie.C. Triple E.
And don't forget to follow the podcast. That's 2 Dope Dads Podcast. The number 2 Dope Dads Podcast.
That's where you can stay up to date on all the episodes that are dropping and just, some dope dad stuff that we're going to post on there. So, yeah, definitely follow that and thank you.
Bow. See you guys next time.
Boom, boom, pew, pew, pew.
No.